Know that I would be a liar. Trying to, we could only lose. Girl, we couldn't get much higher. Yes, I was singing The Doors, Light My Fire. Today, it was number one in 1967. Light My Fire by The Doors, number one, 1967. Greetings, welcome to the 59th episode, day 208, July the 29th, year of our Lord, 2025. And here we are. So I got lots of information about Heinz. No. Still, no response. Like, hey, what's going on Thursday? I have no idea. So I don't know. So in 2 days, I still believe it's the last episode of the first series. Episode 9, Chicago. That's all I know. And I think if I'm correct, I get a good lead in this one. I'm featured heavily along with Steven. I'm his cohort in crime, and this is where it cements me as the co-star. There it is. This Thursday, 8 p.m. I'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll get it figured out. But that's as far as I know. I could be completely mistaken, as I have been now on multiple occasions. No one tells me anything. I live in the dark in my small basement studio. Well, I mean, it's really bright. I've got, spotlights everywhere. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. There's 7 lights down here. Though I don't get shadows. I've got fill lights and Klieg lights and all that stuff. My school days when I took design and film and all that stuff. Anyway. Okay, so what today was lasagna, lipstick, and chicken wings day. So what do I have? Wait, what did I have for dinner tonight? I had lasagna. I had no idea, and there it is. I had lasagna. It's Costco brand, but it's okay. I think it's short rib lasagna, and it's actually really damn good, right? And then what else? What else did I promise? Look at this. There it is. The chair back from the original Buffalo Wild Wings. I had a picture of it. But wait, there's more. I dug it out. I found it. There it is. Look at that. This is a chair back from the original Buffalo Wild Wings here in Columbus, Ohio. The very first one. You can still see where it was screwed in the back there. Someone drew on it. I took it off with a dime. I remember taking the regular head screws apart with a dime. Well, on the last night of the Buffalo Wild Wings on campus, my friend was the bartender. We had like 10-cent drinks. And yes, so this is a artifact. Man, it's dusty. Look at this. It's been sitting apparently gathering, gathering dust. But there you go. See? I got 2 of the 3 things. I didn't have chicken wings, but anyway. Buffalo Wild Wings and Weck. Exactly. Weck. What a gross thing. And wait, and then this was, oh God, there's dust. That's a lot of dust. Sorry. And then this, there it is. There's a picture. I'll make it bigger. That is of me in the cowboy hat. I had no idea. I really didn't. That was one of those things where I was like, wait, when did I have a cowboy hat? I'm like, but I did. That's Watchung Reservation in Watchung, New Jersey. My friend Greg sent it to me. It's from long ago. Long ago. That's probably early 80s. Early 80s. Yes. So there I am. With a cowboy hat. What the heck? I have no idea. But I do remember having a leather cowboy hat. I just don't remember that I wore it a lot. It looks like that was a rainy day. We used to go climbing, free climbing in Watchung. Super dangerous. I mean, it was only like 30 or 40 feet, but still 30 or 40 feet free climbing over other rocks. What were we thinking? Apparently we weren't. We were just dumb youth, and we would free climb and do stupid crap like that. What can I say? Tomorrow is Climb a Mountain Day. Hence the picture came in handy because I did just that. See, climbed a mountain right there. See, if you look, I'm actually at the top of a mountain. That's the top of the cliff because you can see the trees are way down below. Yeah, so dumb shit. Dumb shit we did. But tomorrow is National Climb a Mountain Day. It's also National Cheesecake Day. I will have cheesecake, no question. Some type of cheesecake will be found. National Father-in-Law Day and National Whistleblower Day, which I'm going to have to read on that one, what exactly we're celebrating. But I guess it's blow the whistle and we'll celebrate you, your day. Who knew? I didn't personally. I just didn't. And then this random thing showed up in my driveway when I was coming home tonight. I was like, what in the hell is this? Because, yeah, there you go. That was in my driveway. This. I'm like, why? Why is this here? The college kids aren't back yet. I have no idea. It was just one of those things where I just was like, okay, I guess there's a random cone and thing in my driveway. Apparently my neighbor's kids brought it in. I have a neighbor with 3 young girls, and they dragged it in, and I was like, okay. I said, so apparently they're preparing for college dorm decorating early. They're like, 12. But sure, drag that thing into the yard. Works for me. On a scale of 1 to I don't care, I don't care. Really don't. Wasn't in my wheelhouse to care, so I didn't. Okay, so things that happened. Ready for this one. I was cutting the grass tonight, different place, and it was getting dark, and I saw a bunny. And I was like, wait. And I mean, like, bunnies. Like, again, teeny little bunnies. I'm like, okay, so I just stopped cutting the grass. I said, I'll do it tomorrow when it's daylight. But yes, so I did not have bunny incident number 2. Thank goodness, because that would have really, really bummed me out. Bunny side would not have been good. But did the bunnies come to take the revenge? Maybe, but they were tiny. Oh my God, they're so little. I didn't get a picture because I didn't want to freak it out, because it looked like it was cowering. It was really close to where its hole was. I had seen Mama Bunny there many times, but I didn't know because, they burrow, so you don't know. But I was always careful cutting in the area because it looked like there was a tuft of bunnies. So I will be very careful to cut the grass tomorrow to not chop up bunnies and make a bunny-o-matic out of like the Bass-o-matic from Saturday Night Live. I won't. Not good. Okay, so historical things. I kept them in order this time. I worked really hard to keep all of it in order. So 1773, the first schoolhouse west of the Allegheny was built in what state? Ohio. There you go. In Schönbrunn, Ohio, apparently. I don't know where the hell that is. I didn't look it up. If you know, great. I have a baby bunnies in our yard this year. Great. Yes, more bunnies. 3 broods of baby bunnies. Holy crap, that's a lot of bunnies. I'm assuming it's somewhere near Cleveland. It sounds like it's Slavic. So I'm sure it's somewhere up near Cleveland. Schönbrunn, Ohio. In 1836, the Arc de Triomphe was inaugurated. The Arc de Triomphe celebrates heroes that died for France in the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. It also houses the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Interesting story. I've been to France 3 or 4 times. I went once and stayed for a couple of weeks. I had a friend pass away, and I just took off. My cousin was going to Paris, and I said, I'll go with you. And went, and we stayed at his friend's apartment. Apparently, property, if you get married and divorced, the property still stays with you. You can't lose it. So I was like, okay, great. So it was sort of this empty apartment. Anyway, we stayed in this cool apartment in France and got to explore all over France. And then one of the times we went to the catacombs in France. Now, the catacombs were really, really kind of cool. They were self-toured. You can go down and, there's dead bodies. It's all the skeleton stuff. Now, why I bring that up is because when I was looking through my crap the other day, I found the flashlight because I didn't have a flashlight. They're like, oh, we sell flashlights. And I bought a flashlight. This is the flashlight I took. It's made in Russia. It says so right there, made in Russia. But wait, it doesn't have batteries. It's a crank flashlight. You do this, and it works. That is what I went in the catacombs with. So that's why I had to constantly be like in there with, thousands and thousands of skeletons, like mountains of skulls and femurs. And it was just crazy creepy because it's pitch black and it's musty smelling. And yeah, you're surrounded by literally tens of thousands of skeletons. And this was my light. That is one of my best French stories. And later that day, I was at the top of the Eiffel Tower. So I was at the highest point and lowest point in France that day. But yes, I still have my trusty made in Russia light that got me through the catacombs of Paris. I did not steal any bones. Someone that was coming out when we were there did try and steal a skull and got busted. They had it in their motorcycle helmet. In the helmet. The guy was smart enough. He was like, oh, okay, great. Let me see the helmet. And inside the helmet, there was a skull. I was like, wow. That's crazy. So I did not. Oh, but fly. I don't know why I'm getting a fly in the house like every day now. Anyway, yeah, that's my story of the catacombs and my flashlight from the Arc de Triomphe catacomb story. 1899, first motorcycle race in Manhattan Beach, New York. So that's when they started racing motorcycles. 1907, the Boy Scouts are founded by Robert Baden-Powell in England. I wasn't sure. I didn't dive deep enough in that time. So were the Boy Scouts, I guess the Boy Scouts of America, but the Boy Scouts themselves was founded in England. Didn't know that. I thought it was like the Boy Scouts of America was the Boy Scouts of America, but apparently it probably says the Boy Scouts of America because that's the America branch. I didn't look to see who founded that. Don't really need to know. 1928, Steamboat Willie Disney test footage was made with Mickey Mouse, our good friend Mr. Walt Disney. All sorts of stories about Walt Disney. Just got to dive into that rabbit hole. Rabbits. 1933, Bonnie and Clyde were in a shootout. I always forget that they're actually real people. Bonnie and Clyde aren't just like made up movie people. All that crap was real. And his brother, Buck Barrow, was killed on this day in this shootout. And one of them were captured from his gang, for the Barrow gang. But Bonnie and Clyde escaped. So I'm sure there'll be other Bonnie and Clyde references coming up at some point. Who knew? Now this one caught me a little off guard. 1954, the first installment of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring by J.R. Tolkien was released. I didn't realize it was that old. I guess I didn't. I thought it was more recent. I didn't realize it was from 1954. That I find a little interesting. Yeah, I just assumed it was maybe the 70s or something. I don't know. I didn't think it was that old. UBI works, right? But yeah, so I found it to be interesting. 1957, The Tonight Show premiered. The old Johnny Carson, Jack Paar. So it premiered on NBC Tonight in 1957 with Jack Paar. And I could do the Tonight Show now, because I am unemployed. So I could fill up the hour with interviews of people. I could do that. So everyone's listening. 1958, NASA was established. And I guess what? In 2025, NASA is unestablished? That's next? Just saying. Okay, in 1961, Bob Dylan was a car crash in New York City. And like some bad memory, again, in 1966, Dylan was involved in a motorcycle accident near Woodstock, New York. Not hurt in New York City, hurt in Woodstock, New York. I guess that's some sort of, one of those final, what's that stupid shit movie? Final something? Anyway. Don't go near Bob Dylan today. Especially if you're in a moving vehicle. Just saying. In 1965, the Beatles' Help movie was premiered to royals. Princess Margaret and the Earl of Sandwich or some other dude that I didn't really care about. That was premiered today. Final Destination, I think, is what it was. All right, who's texting me to tell me what I missed? I screwed up. Let's see. It is, oh, wait. Whoa, tsunami warning, 8.8 earthquake, Hawaii and West Coast. I just got that text. 8.8? Holy crap. That is a big ass earthquake. I don't know where it was, but tsunami warning of an 8.8 earthquake. Hawaii and West Coast. Okay, so if you're on the West Coast, hold on tight. Didn't feel an earthquake here. I'm in the basement. No, that's wild. Okay. I know that I always avoid the earthquake things, but there was one recently I saw. I mean, in my list of things tonight, I saw an earthquake that was today that was a big one. I think it was in Spain, maybe, or Venezuela, something, but it like destroyed it. So, okay, far out. I talked about Dylan getting in a second motorcycle accident. Cream played their first show ever today in the Twisted Wheel in England. Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, and Jack Bruce. I had a little Cream on before I listened to The Doors' Let My Fire. Which again, as I said, 1967, Doors' Let My Fire was number one. I was not a fan of The Doors at first, and then I became a big fan of The Doors. I enjoy them. I listen to them on occasion. I threw on a best of or a long thing and listened to a lot of them as a result of a Russian earthquake. Oh, a Russian earthquake is where the earthquake was in the tsunami warnings on the West Coast? Interesting. That must be a big-ass earthquake. 8.8. Yikes. In 1973, Led Zeppelin lost $200,000+ from a safety deposit box in the New York Hilton. Sounds sketchy. What are you doing with $200,000 cash, Zepp? Especially in the Hilton, in a safety deposit box. I don't know. After show receipts or something? Box office receipts? I didn't look into it. But that's a lot of cashola right there. 1976, on this hot summer night in New York City, was the first attack by David Berkowitz, the son of Sam. He killed an 18-year-old woman and injured her guest. This went on and put New York City in a panic for almost an entire year. The summer of Sam. It didn't get caught until August 10th of 1977. I remember that. I was in high school at that time, I believe. Yes, the son of Sam was a big deal. Had people on edge because they didn't know who this guy was. And he sent taunting letters like something you'd read out of a crime novel or watch in a movie to the police saying he's the son of Sam and he was, born of the devil and Satan and all this stuff. But yes, David Berkowitz. Port Angeles to San Diego. Wow, okay. A Russian earthquake. Far out. All right, well, we'll see. Surf's up, dudes. I guess this would be the National Day of Getting Gnarly. He wound up killing 6 people. Son of Sam. 1980, Bowie did a performance in Denver, Colorado of The Elephant Man. I think I remember reading about that. I remember that. Somewhere when I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, right, he did do that. David Bowie, Elephant Man, interesting. In 1987, Ben and Jerry's came out with Cherry Garcia in honor of Jerry Garcia. I mean, right? Cherry and vanilla ice cream, Cherry Garcia. Who knew? I guess you have to be a hipster kind of cool dude to be an ice cream flavor. And in 1988, a judge orders the unedited video of the cockpit of the Challenger disaster. Same day that NASA was established. That judge. Yeah. I think I was tasteless moments in Randy. I think the year after that, I dressed as Halloween as a beat-up astronaut, and I had a spaceship helmet with a skull in it. Yeah, not my finest hour, but tasteless costumes have never been something I've shied away from. Sorry. Birthdays. 1923. Jim Marshall. Now, why would I bring up a guy named Jim Marshall? He's a Brit. He was a business guy, but he was an electric amp pioneer. The Marshall amp. So you've seen the Stax Marshall amps, the guy that made him. That was a real person, of course, just like the Mayo Clinic and Tupperware. There's a guy named Jim Marshall. So Marshall amps are for him. Born on this day, 1923. Also, 1946, Neil Doughty, REO Speedwagon. I can't fight this feeling anymore. Fighting it. 1953, Geddy Lee of Rush. I forget how old he was, but he was, I was like, oh, that makes him like 70. I was like, okay, like 72. I'm like, wow, I guess, yeah, Geddy Lee is getting there. Now, my Rush story. I've debated if I was going to tell the Rush story. I guess I'll tell the Rush story. So, back in the day, in my miscreant youth. Now, realize I grew up as a miscreant, okay? White punks on dope. Grew up in a place called Clark, New Jersey. Suburb of New York City. We didn't have a train station in my town. We had it in Westfield. We had it in Rahway. We were in between. Just a sleepy suburb of New York City. Anyway, had a lot of people. We all lived near each other. They were all of my same age group. We were probably, 18, 19. And we're going to go see Rush. We're going to drive to go see Rush. I believe they're playing at the Meadowlands Giant Stadium in Rutherford, New Jersey, East Rutherford, New Jersey. And so there was, I think, 4 or 5 cars. It was at least 4 cars. And we were having some fun, drinking some beers, hanging out, parked in the street by one of our friends' houses. And for whatever reason, this is the time that the police decided either they got called or something to show up. So the cops showed up, and, this is like Barney Fife at the time. This was nowadays, there's real police forces, but it was not then, okay? So, we knew, the captain, because it was, one of the kids that was our age's dad, but there was some gung-ho cops like, oh, my God, we've got you busted. All right, we're all going down to the station house. And I was like, okay. So follow us to the station house. This is what we were instructed to do. So they put a police car in front of us and behind us, and we drove these 4 cars to the police station. I'm right. This is it gets a little silly. So any illicit drugs that we may have had at the time, we were now stuffing into the vents of the car and doing whatever we could because we're driving and we can't throw things out the window or whatever. We're kids. We're like I said, 17, 18, 19, I don't know, something of that. We weren't very old. Old enough to drive, but not really too much smarter than that. So we got to the police station and, they're just like, we're calling your parents. Okay, so they called our parents. So our parents had to come get us. Now, we didn't get arrested per se, okay? Because again, this is small town policing. This is probably the late 70s. Late 70s to early 80s, somewhere in there. And so they, a couple of the girls didn't hide everything properly. So they found a couple of joints and they found a little bong, okay? And this is, so, the parents come down. My dad comes down. Now, if I told you anything about my dad was a blue-collar guy, grew up in Worcester, Massachusetts. First his family go to college. Hardworking guy, caddied to pay for his own way, was in the Navy, was lieutenant in the Navy, went over to the Philippines, went to NYU, got his master's degree, self-made, hardworking guy, captain of the football team, just a little bulldog, captain of the wrestling team, just tough guy. Never went to the hospital, rub a little dirt in it, Johnny kind of guy, okay? Very, very sort of Ward and June Cleaver kind of guy. Don't get me wrong, love Dad. Dad was great. He was hilarious. But like I didn't get GI Joes because they were dolls. Okay, you know, boys don't play with dolls. That's not how it works. And so Dad gets called down. Now, I'm a challenge, okay? What you see as an adult, you can only imagine what I was like when I was a kid. So I was a challenge, to say the least, okay? That's the good word for it. So I'm going to leave it at that, all right? I definitely challenged my parents. But anyway, parents show up, and the cops are sort of going through like, you know, blah, blah, blah. We found these kids that were drinking beer, and we found a joint on this one, and this is blah, 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 blah. You know, and we're all just like, So the cops are showing what they found. And so, so the cops like, you know, we found this water bong. And of course, my dad picks it up and is like, looks and goes, how do you use this? He picks it up and he goes like this, looks right at me and goes, gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. And I swear to God, everybody just was like looked at me. It was like their faces just turned pale white. I'm like, super. And didn't say a word, didn't say anything. We get in the car driving home. And of course, I mean, I'm going to be me. So my question, I only had one question. I said, so does it mean I don't get to go to the concert? He didn't say a word. Just turned and looked at me like, you are such a jackass. And just went back to driving. And that was it. Never said a word about it. Never brought it up. Nothing ever happened of it. But it was just one of those things that just... So I did not get to go see Rush that time. I saw them subsequently at another point, but did not get to see that concert because of the fact that we got busted by the local cops for being bad miscreant children. 1956, Patti Scipione of the E Street Band and Bruce Springsteen's wife was born on this day. And in 1977, Danger Mouse, alternative hip-hop DJ producer dude, Danger Mouse, born on this day. The only two people that I found that passed on this day was Cass Elliot of the Mamas and the Papas, California Dreamin', Monday, Monday, a couple other good songs, and David Niven from the Pink Panther, Around the World in 80 Days, and everything else. David Niven always seemed like he was the epitome of the proper English gentleman in everything he did in the movies and stuff. You had to love David Niven if you never saw him act or perform, because he was always that very proper Englishman. He's what you would imagine a proper English gentleman would be like as a film star. So that's the person that passed. Another text. Let's see what's it. Okay, New York Times. World earthquake, tsunami, Russia, Japan, Hawaii. Okay, so live update tsunami alerts in U.S. and Japan after one of the largest earthquakes on record. That's what I say. 8.8 is pretty freaking big. Damn. All right. Well, I'm assuming we will, depending on where it happened. If it happened on land, not as likely. If it happened on the ocean and we had some sort of you mother. I was paying attention and I missed it. From my geology takes, you have the plate tectonics, and you have the ones that go underneath. So if this is one of the ones that went underneath and it made a dip and the sea rose and dropped, you'll have a big ass tsunami. So we'll see. We'll see if we get a tsunami. Who knew? All right, just what we needed. 2025, tsunami. Okay. Now, I don't know if that's in the Ring of Fire where the earthquake was. I'll have to look. But they're all connected. You know, the plates are just these big shifting things. So, hey, West Coast, you're due for one. I was in an earthquake once when I was in California. Very minor. Just enough to clink ice in a glass. It was in San Francisco. And it was just like, clink, clink, clink. I'm like, he's like, that's an earthquake. I'm like, sweet. I'm in an earthquake. I mean, you know, it wasn't of any devastating proportion. Things didn't crack. Bookcases didn't shift. The earth didn't fall. It was, you know, a tremor. Ice moved in a glass and you heard like a clinking noise. That was about it. That was the literally extent of my earthquake experience. Oahu, evacuation to higher ground. Hotels telling guests not to go below the fourth floor. Beaches cleared. Okay. On land, but a peninsula. Wow. Okay. Interesting. We'll have to see. We'll see. Because, I mean, it's hours earlier. I mean, it's, 3 hours early. So it's only what, like 8:30? So it's daylight. Okay. Speaking of Deo, that was today or yesterday. In my list, someone the person who wrote Deo, I think, was born. Deo, daylight come and I want to go home. I don't write down everything. This list that I read is insane. There's so much stuff in there that I don't care about. And I don't put any sports. That you've noticed there's no sports in there because I really don't give a crap about sports. Never was a sports guy. Expected to hit at 7:30. It's 5:30 now. Okay, in about 2 hours. So, all right. There'll be live coverage and TikTok stars will be down at the beach with their cameras filming this. I will not be because I'm in landlocked Ohio. But that's interesting. 8.8. Yeah, that's big. Jesus. That's a big-ass earthquake. Because, yes, I was a Rocks for Jocks. Along with my Swahili, I took geology classes. And actually, I liked them a lot. I had a really good geology professor. When we were in New York, we went to the Museum of Natural History. Probably one of the most baked I ever got in my entire life. Just FYI. Side note, we made grilled cheese. And we made the butter out of THC stuff. And holy crap. I just think we were just laughing at the T-Rex, and my professor did not know what we were laughing at. It was a field trip, a college field trip, college level, and we got to take a field trip to New York City. We went in a van that was like Rutgers University van, and it was fun. It was like 30 of us in 2 vans. But yes, so I loved Rocks for Jocks. I still remember plagioclase feldspar and mores. And all these things, the angle of repose. Who knew? Who knew that I liked geology? I have all sorts of rocks upstairs. I have a rock garden that I inherited from a relative. I know, it's weird. It's a bunch of stones they would bring a rock home from every state they traveled in. So I tried to do the same thing. So I've got a bunch of rocks out in the yard that are all from different states. I think I've lost track of where they're from. I used to write on them with Sharpie, but it's been so long that I'm sure by now all the Sharpie's now worn off of my rock garden. It's more like an ankle break garden more than anything because, it's rocks and they're all just these jumble of big, they're not the teeny ones. Okay. These are like big, substantial pieces of stone that are from, all over. I don't know where they came from, the relative. I think they throw them in like their station wagon when they would drive across country. Throw them in the back with a luggage because again, these things are huge. They're big. So I continued the trend and I did not bring home tiny rocks. I didn't get like a Petoskey stone from Michigan. Oh no, mine's like, this big. It's like a chunk of mountain. Don't ask me why. Okay. Just don't. There's no reason to. It's completely unnecessary. Why I do some of the things I do, I don't even know. It's poor impulse control. I think that's what it is. It's just poor impulse control. What do you expect? Okay? That's what happens when you grow up ADHD and become an adult. You still have ADHD because you don't take drugs for it. Never did. Never took drugs for that. So I just live with it for better or worse. I think for better. It makes me creative. Keeps me awake at night. Lets my mind just go this way. What can I say? That's how it is. Tomorrow is the day before this. Again, as far as I know, Thursday will be the last episode. Episode number 9 of this first run of this series. So check it out. And then I don't know if they're going to put them all together and do it as 3 30-minute blocks. I have no idea because, again, no one tells me anything. I've heard nothing from the production company. Don't know what to tell you. Just don't. I don't. Nope, not at all. Have I shown you the Death Star? There it is, the Death Star. And it's still here, spinning slowly, out of control. I haven't moved it yet, and I did not move my whole desk of stuff. I got up this morning, had to go do work stuff. And again, my day just got completely sideways. I got a notification from Columbia Gas that they turned the gas off. So there is no hot water at the radio station building any longer. The gas has been officially shut off. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I won't need that. Did I tell you August 21st is the 35th anniversary of the radio station that went on the air in 1990? It's also going to be the day that I hear from the city about selling the building. A momentous day indeed, and that is the 21st. Today is the 29th. I can't believe it is going to be August already. What are you going to do, right? Life is zooming past at a very fast rate of speed. I do not wish for this to come zooming past. One day older, one day wiser. Not even close. One day older, one day poorer. Much more accurate. More accurate than that you can imagine. Oh, man. So, okay, I guess we're going to have to be watching. I'll stay up. It's only 11:30. So 2 hours from now is only 1:30. So I'll be awake. And then I'll fall asleep on the couch. But I'll be watching for the coverage of this tsunami and see if we get any hits on the West Coast or Oahu. Anywhere else. That's kind of wild. Who knew? That's what happens. You don't know everything because we can't know everything. That's how that works. I don't have anything super exciting going on tomorrow, except I have to be up and ready to go at 7 o'clock in the morning because apparently the house I'm working on, they're getting a new water meter installed by the city, which I also got a letter from the city today, not the city, but a company telling me that they're turning the water off at the radio building because I have not had a new water meter put in because I've made 2 appointments and they've been beyond late both times. So I just said, screw it at this point. I don't have the time to just sit there. We'll make the appointment between 8:30 and 12:30. I'm like, no, that doesn't work that way anymore. You have a cell phone. Call me. I'm not going to sit around for 4 hours. That's not how this works anymore. Right? Am I the only one who thinks that? We have technology. Have your driver call when they're on their way. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Okay, I'll meet you there. Not I'm going to sit around for 4 hours. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's ludicrous that someone would expect us to do that, especially in this day and age with technology, right? Do you have auto dialer? Call my phone. Here's my number. So no, they've done it twice, so now I'm just mad, and I will have the water shut off. I'll show them. That's exactly what will happen. I'll show them. All right. I'm going to go watch for an earthquake and see what we can do. And tomorrow is Wednesday. So Wednesday we'll talk about, I will find out the information about the stream, about the show. I will find out. I will absolutely find out about the information about the show for tomorrow. I did check out some of the rules on YouTube. I dove into a little bit more. I do have to not use other people's pictures, and I definitely can't play music. I was going to start playing some songs, but no, I can't. So I guess the rules are that if I use copyright material and no one complains about it, that's okay. If I use copyright material and someone complains about it, they'll take it down and then they'll ding me. 3 dings and they terminate the actual channel. So I can't do that. To be very careful because this channel is one that has, years and years and years of archival stuff from the radio station on it. Even though the songs are copywritten, the thing was that we had permission to do it. They're just claimed then by the record labels. That's how that works. So using photographs, I wouldn't have permission to use. They could do it. Like this one, I have permission to use this because I did ask. I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. I'm like, great. But I guess other things that I posted that are stuff from some of these sites, I would not. So I need to make sure I don't do that because I don't want to get dinged. That would be bad. So I will try and keep the pictures of stuff I have historically of my photographs and pictures I'm going to take. There you go. Any other questions? No? Perfect. Because on that note, I'm going to take my flashlight from from Russia, where the earthquake occurred. And how weird is that I had a Russian flashlight when there was an earthquake in Russia? I'm going to play the Russian lottery. I guess that's where they don't come and throw you out of a window. Perestroika, Nastarovia. Thank you. Don't forget, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you again tomorrow. I'm going to try and move the desk tomorrow. Promise. I'm going to take at least a little bit of time. Since I have to be up so freaking early, I got to be up at like before 7. So, by tomorrow night, I'll be tired. But I'll still do this because I love you and I love doing this, friends. And, it's my only outlet at this point because I literally am the troll in the basement. Thank you. Good night. Fade to black. Let's see. Back to the doors.